We woke up this morning and I got a bunch of text messages from people that, oh my God, Donald Trump says that if you give birth in the United States and you don't have legal status, your kid is no longer going to be a United States citizen, and he can change that law with a stroke of the pen. No, he can't. There is something called the Constitution of the United States. There's a 14th Amendment. It went into place after slavery was abolished and the North won the Civil War against the South. And it says that anybody who is naturally born in the United States is a U.S. citizen. And that has been interpreted that if you are physically, by every legal scholar for 150 years, that if you're a human being and you are physically born in the United territories or the states of the United States of America, that makes you a U.S. citizen. Trump says he can do it by executive order. It's funny for a guy who complained that Obama used too many executive orders. He now wants to use executive orders to change the Constitution of the United States. Right. And as a matter of fact, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, who is also a Republican, said emphatically, you cannot end birthright citizenship with an executive order. Really what he's doing is just, there was a huge mass shooting in the United States 3 days ago. And we have an election coming up. And people are talking about the shooting, about the vitriol that's going around in politics and in society here in the United States of America, people taking sides, people blaming outsiders, people blaming others for their own problems. And what you end up with is when you have a political situation like this, and you have a situation, and we talked about it yesterday, where Donald Trump says there's good people on both sides, such as what he said at Charlottesville, where the neo-Nazis were marching against the counter-protesters to the neo-Nazis. And you have a situation where there's lots of guns and lots of people who are able to get guns. You have situations like what happened in the synagogue in Pittsburgh, and 11 people died as a result of it. And Trump doesn't want people talking about that. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want people talking about really what's going on in society. He wants to blame the boogeyman. All right, so if you blame the boogeyman, your problems are not caused by you, they're caused by somebody else. The boogeyman. In the 50s and 60s and 70s, it was the communists. Mm-hmm. Yep. The communists were the boogeymen. In the 80s, it was the Japanese. Mm-hmm. They're going to overtake us. They're making televisions like nobody makes a television, like nobody makes cars. Mm-hmm. In the 1990s, it was really immigrants again, and the Russians, and the Chinese. And then 2001 came, and then it was the terrorists. And if you remember, right after 9/11, every person who came from a Muslim country had to register. Everybody was terrified of Muslims. If you're a Muslim, we don't want you here. You're un-American. Now, there's not as much terrorism anymore, at least certainly not Islamic terrorism that we see here. There's Islamic terrorism, and there's terrorism all over. We don't see it here on our shores. But people have problems. People may be unhappy in their lives. People may not have jobs. People may not feel comfortable in their relationships. There's all sorts of reasons why people are unhappy. But nobody likes to look inwardly and say why they're unhappy. It's always somebody else's fault. It's always somebody else caused this problem to me. So Trump does the same thing. You're an unhappy person. Maybe you don't have a job. Maybe you're unhappy where you live. Maybe you're lonely. Who knows why? You know, you're lonely, you watch Fox News all day long. Somebody's causing me a problem. It's not me, because nobody takes responsibility for their own problems. It must be a caravan of poor women and children coming from Central America who haven't even made it into Mexico yet, who are escaping violence, and they're coming together in a caravan because it's safer for them to move, to come to the border to apply for asylum. That's causing my problem in North Dakota.
Right.
That's causing my issues.
It just doesn't make any sense.
So now, when the United States of America confronts what is going on in America, we have crazy people who have access to guns, who are made angry by the political discourse in the United States of America and feel it is safe to be anti-Semitic and racist because Trump says there's good people on both sides, and they go shoot and kill people as a result. That's a serious conversation to have in America. Trump doesn't want that.
Right.
He doesn't want that conversation because that conversation doesn't help him. Because that conversation makes him look exactly what he is. He's not bringing America together, he's pulling it apart. So he says, I got to change the conversation. I got to do something. I got to say something that's even more horrific, more horrible, more outlandish than somebody walking into a synagogue and killing 11 people who are praying on their Sabbath. So what could I say? He sits up all night. What could I say? What could I say that could be more outlandish so to get people stopping talking about what happened in Pittsburgh and talking about immigrants who are scaring everybody to death and causing everybody problems? Exactly. I know what I'm going to say. I'm going to say something so outlandish we're going to get everybody talking about it again.
Yep.
I'm going to overrule the 14th Amendment by an executive order.
Exactly.
And he's going, I could do it. So that's what happened, folks. He can't do it. There's a constitution unless he becomes a dictator.
Where are all of the super staunch Republicans who refuse to pass any form of gun control because it's an amendment to the United States Constitution? And now your leader, your party's leader, has said, I'm going to make an executive order changing the Constitution. And the only Republican I've heard speak out about it is Paul Ryan, who isn't seeking re-election.
Well, yeah, Ryan said he can't do it. No, nobody serious says it. So when before I even read the news or even knew about it, I woke up to text messages from several friends that like, oh my God, did you see what's going on? And I said, and I was like half up.
Yeah.
And I texted back, I said, he can't change the Constitution of the United States. I said, it's all politics.
Exactly.